here. Welcome to part 45 of the Rust Never Sleeps Cancer Society charity build of the Roadster. This video is going to be a little bit different to most of the other videos. It's a bit of a experiment, really. It might not be a case of me saying I'm going to do this and then showing you me doing it, and then here we are. What I'm up to, I'll zoom in a bit for you, is I want to make the header plates for the V8 engine here to attach tubing to. Let's see if we can find some tube. It's floating around somewhere. Just probably this sort of stuff here. This is just a bit of aluminium tube scrap. It might be about the right size to use as pipes. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But anyway, what I want to do today is have a play with the CNC machine. I could make these plates out of by hand, you know, drilling and cutting and all that sort of thing. But I want to have a crack at experimenting with the CNC machine. So what I got here is a piece of I'm going to try sheet metal first, see how that goes. If that doesn't work, I'll try aluminium, or I will stick with sheet metal and just drill them and cut them by hand. This is just a scrap of, it's about 0.6 of a mil, 0.6 millimeter. Sheet metal. It's probably a piece of roofing metal, maybe, the way it's coloured. I'm not too sure what it is. It's just a scrap. So what I'll do is I'll mount this into the CNC machine and cut out the pattern of the plate to mount on here with these little, I think they're 1.6 millimeter holes. So and once I've got the little flange plate there, I can put attach the tube to this plate here using probably M3s, which is an idea that I got another guy made. I can't remember where it was. It might have been the Scale Guild forums or something like that. 4x4 RC. He made plates and he drilled holes where these ports are, outlet ports for M3s, and he came in from the back, and so there'd be like M3 threads sticking out here, and that's how he was able to mount his rod out there. So I'm going to try that first, because it's a proven method, so you know, no need to reinvent the wheel. So that's what I'm going to give it a go. So we're going to play with the CNC machine today. Yeah, like I say, something a little bit different, less manual tools and a bit more machine making. So for some people that won't be really that cool because they like the handcrafts aspect of this build, but I want to play and I want to try out new things. So let's get on with it. I'll show you what I'm up to, what my plan is, and then I'll attempt to film the machine, probably breaking bits, I expect. So yeah, alright, let's get on with it. Okay, first things first. This is the software I'm using. It's called Easel by Inventables. They're the people that make the CNC machine. This is it's a very basic thing to mill out. It's just whether it will work or not with sheet metal. So there's the flange, whatever you call it, header plate, flange, I'm not sure, but not much to it. They're easy to find on Google Images to get an idea of what they're like, and this is a fairly simplified version. You can see in their little preview what it looks like. And I've hit the simulate button. That's the path that the machine will take. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use this software to run the machine. It can run it, but I prefer to use another software called Universal G-Code Sender. So what I'm going to do now is generate the G-code from this and take it over to the CNC machine in the other room. I've got the wasteboard in. It's flat enough for what I'm doing. I'm just testing things out. Got the little bit of metal glued down, and with these little screws just to hold it tight. I've got the bit in. I've got these bits are sacrificial. Let's see, I'll get light here. I've got a bunch of them from China, so they're very, very cheap, and there's, you know, if I bust them, it's no big deal. I'm just going to give it a squirt of WD-40, put the front on, and we'll hit the go button and see if we break stuff or whether it works. Ready to hit the go button, so things will get noisy, so I might do a music overlay here. But and I'm pretty much guessing the spindle speed and everything, so it's maybe she works, maybe she don't. Oops, there we go. It's not actually very loud at all, is it? It's quite good having it in this enclosure. I'm not gonna make us watch all this in the standard speed. It'd be way too slow and boring. The machine says it's about a 9-minute job, so that hole looks the wrong size. We'll see how we go. We'll hit fast forward. Okay, so snap the bit. It drilled the holes out okay. It drilled the holes out okay. It's just that when it started doing the cutting out the shape of the flange, it snapped the tip off the bit. So I'm not too sure if I need to speed up the spindle speed in relation to the travel speed, or slow down the travel speed. Experimenting. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the software with this design in it. I'll re-export it with just the outline without the holes, and change the parameters for the speeds and feeds, and we'll try again. You can see here how it's going. It's not too bad. This looks a bit deeper than in there, so I'm going to try a shallower depth of cut. It's already at 0.1 of a mil, so I would have thought that was plenty shallow, but cheap Chinese bits maybe not, so I'll play around. Unfortunately, when I stop the job, sometimes the G-code sender gets a bit funny and gets locked up, so I lost my work zero. So there's no way I'm going to get this lined back up again. So that's out. I have to start the job from scratch. So that's why I got such a nice large piece here. That's the way of it, man. So I expect to be doing quite a few of these before I get one out, if I even get one out. So what I'll do is I'll just get on with it and continue off camera until I get pretty much back up to where, if I succeed, going around the outside again without breaking the bit. Right, let's go. Damn it. Right, so you can see I've made a few attempts here. Funnily enough, the first one did well. The second one I sped up the spindle, it broke straight away. The third one I slowed everything down, it went a wee ways and cracked out, so that was closest. It's not the end of the world because I've got these laid out here now, so if I run out of bits I can just these holes will be exact and I can just cut the outer by hand. So what I'm going to do now is move over to this side. I think I'm going to use that tiny little 1mm bit to do the holes. It'll be a 2-stage cut, so 1mm bit to do the holes because it can handle it, and then I'll try a 2mm bit to cut around it, try a bit with a bit more meat on it and see how we go. Okay, onwards and upwards. You'll see that I have done the holes for the flange on this one, and I have dropped a couple of little wood screws through a couple of holes to hold this down because I found this plate was starting to lift up. The glue has just released on me, probably because of the heat that's building up in this sheet, and also all the WD-40 that I've been spraying on here to lube it, so it's letting go and starting to bow. So, and it might be why I broke my last bit when I was doing this. So next is, this will probably be possibly be the last one I try. I might try one more up here as an experiment because I'm pretty much out of bits, but you know, cheap Chinese bits, they break pretty easy, especially when you push them like this. I mean, I'm sure they're not designed for this sort of carry on. So the next thing is the 2 flutes are pretty much cooched, so I've proven that I can't do that until I do some learning to figure out why, which means buying more than 5 bits. Probably should have brought a 10 pack. But over here, see, I don't know if you can see that. So what we've got here is a 4 flute. It's got a lot more meat in the cutting thing, so it shouldn't snap off so readily, and it's also a larger bit. It's not a 1mm, it's a 2.5. So just another cheap Chinese bit, so if I break it, I break it. It's no big deal. Should I be using a 4 flute to cut sheet metal? Probably not, but that's what I got, so that's what I'm going to use. I'll have to order some more bits, and it's going to take a while to turn up, so we'll try this out. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And I'll use some of the other file ones I did earlier and just cut them out by hand, and that'll be fine. It's been fun playing with this, and yeah, let's give it a crack anyway, eh? was an interesting experiment, if nothing else. What we got here is the first few I did where I was using the 1mm bits that were not handling the side loading snapped. Here I did the 1mm bit for the holes and the 2.5mm 4 flute around the outside. But I'm not sure if you'll see it in the video. I need to check the footage later, but the first time it went around, it came around here and it sparked. Just through sparks everywhere when it came around here. And I think at that stage the bit was burnt out, and it was pretty much cooched from then on, and it kept on going around, but I think it was just rubbing from there, because it didn't cut through at all, didn't even make it through the sheet, and it should have. So yeah, so that's alright. That's a lesson learned, isn't it? It's not a waste of time. It's sometimes you got to learn how not to do things, you know. So that's alright. But I've got enough here to work with anyway. I can cut these out by hand, maybe even that one, and see if they fit on the head. And if none of them are any good, I've milled aluminium on this machine before successfully, so I'll just switch to aluminium and do the plates with alloy if that's the case. So I think next we'll get out in the garage, we'll cut these up and try and fit them to the head and see if these holes line up pretty well, and we'll continue. So it's the next day now, guys, and after I did that stuff on the CNC machine, I did a rough cut edit and realised that the video's getting quite long, so I thought I'd just cut to the chase. Got out in the shed and cut this out by hand, and there's this one here as well. So they're about right. I don't know if I'm digging them that much, but it's a good start. I need to really figure out how I'm going to attach tube or solid rod to these things to make some pipes that'll either come down and dump out the bottom here, or whether they'll curl up above the steering rod and do the zoomy effect. So I got a wee ways to go on these headers. That's pretty much why I've been putting them off, because I pretty much have no idea how I'm going to do it still. I think the problems I was having with the bits breaking in the CNC machine and that sort of thing, probably not so much to do with the machine or the bits I was using, but more to do with my lack of knowledge on that sort of stuff. So I don't want to bag the manufacturers for their substandard parts or anything like that, because, you know, if I had the best parts, best bits from the best manufacturers, I probably would have still broken them. So yeah, not a very good video, well, not to me anyway. I think it's a bit dry. It's just experimenting, but sometimes it's like that. Yeah, there's learning, but I don't know if it makes a very entertaining video though. So I'll try and get back into the more hands-on stuff. I may still try to mill out an aluminium version of these plates, and I may or may not video that. What else? Oh, I've got these little RC4 drive scale bolts to attach these plates with. They're with the little scale hex bolt head. So I haven't put them on yet. We'll see how that pans out. Anyway, I'll keep on digging around my scrap pile for some bits of pipe or solid rod that looks like it could be used as a exhaust pipe, and we'll see you next week. See you later.